Asphalt Pros. And guess what? Nobody's missed anything. We've just been hot lapping up until this point. So, no sweat off our back, water under the bridge. We've got 10 seconds left of hot laps before we roll into Broken Arrow Whitetails qualifications here tonight. So, guys, a little bit of excitement here early on in tonight. Gremlins are just eating away at the beginning of the broadcast, but some great racing action just around the corner.
Am I okay? Okay. I just want to.
You scared me.
I thought good. That's what I'm here not to do, is to scare folks. Yeah. A little bit of reset of the racetrack there. You saw it happen, and we're ready to go into some qualifying, Scotty, or maybe Scotty had to go out and check on the chicken in the pork roast or something. He's got fired up.
I'm here.
All right.
Man, he's just been teasing us all night. He's talking about all this stuff he's got on the smoker. All right, now Facebook is telling me we are back live on the SODAK iRacing series with the Advantage Racing TV Facebook page. Please give it a share, and also let us know where you are tuning in from. Tonight's Broken Arrow Whitetails QuickTime qualifications getting underway out there on the racetrack. These will set the lineups for our Rusted Design Center heat races. Broken Arrow Whitetails, a small white deer farm near Jackson, Minnesota. Look them up on Facebook. They've got swag available, also some great photos of their beautiful whitetails. That's all available right there on their Facebook page. It's Broken Arrow Whitetails, bringing a $25 bonus to tonight's quick timer, and just like that, your points leader out on top of the charts, an 11.968 for Tyler Johnson. He's going to set the mark to beat her early on in the Broken Arrow Whitetails qualifications.
Dylan Workman just about 7/100ths of a second off with the second quick with the 12.039 for Workman. Those your top two coming out of the so far.
Yeah, Connor Hamilton right there, 12.064. Kevin Plegman just jumped up to that third spot, 12.048. Bumps Connor Hamilton down to the fourth spot. We know they're watching him up in Carthage at the Cabaret. Austin Updahl in the fifth spot right now, 12.074. Got Skylar Devaney, Alex Tejan, Tyler Gorel, Jeremy Clarenbeek, Skylar Devaney all out on the racetrack right now, making some laps in the Narrow Whitetails quick time qualifications.
Hey, I got to tell you about the guy right now sitting 41st on the clock, Elliot Omdahl. I was out YouTubing and Facebooking the other day, and I come across a micro sprint crash at Huset's down the front straight with Elliot, and I said, hey, I know who that guy is. That was a nasty little ride that he took up there years ago, but I was like, hey, I know that guy. He's an iRacer, and he got a sprint car too.
Yeah, running some IMCA Race Saver Sprint stuff this year. Got his first win in a 360 sprint car, and also had a huge wreck at I-90 Speedway this summer in his 360 sprint car. We don't want to talk about that. We'll talk about the good things.
It's like they always say with sprint cars. It's not if you're going to flip. It's when you're going to flip.
Well, even with hobby stocks too, it's not if, it's when, and they're never fun.
Well, Scotty, you know that all too well. Way too well.
Unfortunately.
Scotty, have you rolled a hobby stock? You and the gang rolled one over?
I've rolled two of them, actually.
Well, I tell you what, you were glutton for punishment, or either were shooting for the stars for credibility on that. I'm not sure which one it was. But, hey, big shout out. Like we said, we'll have some stuff to give away for my race pass tonight. Watch for that Ross Van Eck heat race, because we'll have a T-shirt from them folks. Also, I'm giving away a T-shirt. Of course, they come through my race pass, and got who we got? We got, I think Josh is racing tonight. We got Ross. I know Austin Lloyd, newest member of the team MRP, home checking things in here on Advantage Racing TV. So great to have you tuned in. And boys, I think it's time to go.
Absolutely, it is. Heat race number 1 of the Rusted Design Center heat races is out there on the grid. It'll be the birthday boy, Ice Cold Michelob, Caleb Volts. He's sitting on the pole in the number 23 machine. Kyle Roseboom going to join him on row number 1.
Going to row number 2, we're going to see Brandon Grilly. They're in the 2 machine, and Bruce Jones driving a 1.7 starting off in P4.
It's going to be row number 3, the 97, your defending champion, Tanner Koster, to the inside and to the outside, your current point leader, the 5, Tyler Johnson.
Ryan McCarty, the 111, starts in the 7th starting position. He'll be joined in the 4th row by the 38 of John Pittman.
And all alone, Just like me on prom night. That is Travis Johnson, the 88, starting back in the 9th starting spot. So those are your cars and stars for heat race number 1.
10 laps will be the distance on all of our Rusted Design Center heat races here tonight. Rusted Design Center, that can help you create a space that shows up your personal style and suit all of your needs. Also, of course, heat race number 1 is brought to us by the Cabaret. It's the iconic bar and steakhouse up in Carthage, South Dakota. And as you learned earlier this season, it was featured in the film Into the Wild. And look them up on Facebook. They've got great steak deals all the time. That's the Cabaret up there in Carthage, and I have to make it up there here one of these days again. I'm going to make it back up there and check it out. So everybody getting set in that staging area for the 10-lap heat race number 1 for the SODAK iRacing Series. Guys, we should double check. It is top 4. Top 4 go directly to tonight's Buzz Be Gone A feature after each and every one of these heat races.
Yes, we'll see them top 4 moving on and transferring. Just so you know, right now, if you were thinking about it, I could be to the Cabaret in 5 hours and 24 minutes. I would be there. What time's last call in South Dakota? Are you guys?
2 a.m.
Oh, I could get one hot pop if I left right now, but unfortunately, I'm here for this. So, yeah, you know, you keep telling me about this cabaret joint. I think I might have to make a winter trip up there, Naystad.
Oh, yeah. How about a summer trip? You come up to Houston's next summer, and then maybe Monday we'll swing up to Carthage.
Oh, we can do that. We can make that happen. There's no doubt about it.
Happening things on the racetrack right now. We are green, and immediately it's Michaela Volz out to the lead. Scotty, they race off of turn number 2.
Coming down the backstretch now into turn number 3. Ice Cold Michelob, the birthday boy, out in front. Brandon Grilly trying to pull side by side with the 42 of Kyle Roseman there. Bruce Jones in the 17 now cutting through the middle as they come down the backstretch now into turn 3.
Jones with a little bit of crossover move, puts one to the fence. Watch him off at turn number 3 and 4. Top 4 going to break away down the front straightaway. It's Volz, Roseboom, Grilly, and Jones. Those are your top 4 transfer cars as we motor into turn number 3.
Keep an eye on Michaela Volz out front. That number 23 celebrating his birthday right now. Tanner Koster has the final transfer spot. The defending champion. Meanwhile, quick timer Tyler Johnson, he's one spot out of a transfer.
As we're on board with Roseboom right now, you see back behind him Bruce Jones in the 17 trailing, trying to work to the inside now to the middle of the track to try to gain ground on the number 42. Out in front, though, it looks like Michaela Volz has some company as Kyle Roseboom pulls to the tail tank.
Cross sticks, meet and greet the field down into turn number 1 and 2. It's going to be Volz up to the top side. Big time move to the bottom side. Comes a 42 of Roseboom. Roseboom's going to take a look at him. You see it. You got Ice Cold Michelob celebrating a birthday on the lip off of turn 3 and 4. Changes the line off of 2, though.
Exciting up front as they race for the lead. It's about to get exciting back there for that 4th and final transfer spot. Tanner Koster now working to the outside of Bruce Jones. They go side by side, and just behind them, Tyler Johnson. He's your quick timer, still on the outside looking in.
As we're still side by side for that 3rd and 4th place spot, Roseboom to the top of the track now, trying to get a run on Ice Cold Michelob. Michaela Volz, he's going to get shuffled back now to that 2nd place spot. New race leader, the 42, Kyle Roseboom.
Down the front, straightaway looking this time. The white flag is in the air, and we've got 2 to go this time. Now the white flag there. 1 to go, now a half lap. They'll work him off at turn number 3 and 4, picking up heat race number 1. Give it to Kyle Roseboom. Then it is going to be your finishing order. 2nd is going to be Volz, Koster, and Jones, your top 4 transfer cars.
Tough one there. Tyler Johnson sets quick time, but he will not be eligible for the Volz Concrete Trifecta bonus. He will have to come from a B main here tonight. The Liquor Mart South, heat race number 2 up next. Liquor Mart, a quality liquor store right there in the heart of Southeast Sioux Falls. Of course, they've got a great selection of wine, liquor, and delicious craft beer. That's Liquor Mart South bringing us heat race number 2 of the Rusted Design Center heat races, and we'll have an opportunity to take a look at the grid on this one. Scotty, let's take a look at that front row.
It's going to be starting on the 71 car of Kevin Rost, and to the outside, the 49 Brock Stout.
Going to row number 2 to the inside, that's a 25 of Chance Lewis, and his outside, it's John Cutts in the 13 car.
Third row, Caleb Johnson, feature winner with the series this season in car 22 inside. Starting 6th on the grid, outside row 3, 75, Dylan Workman.
Then we will see going right there. It'll be starting 7th and 8th. That is Evan Miller in the 39. And the 4, that will be Tyler Grell in the 4 machine to the outside. It looks like bringing up the tail, Elliot Omdahl in the 51 machine.
So just about set now. Heat race number 2, Liquor Mart South. Heat race number 2 of the Rusted Design Center heat races. Another 10-lapper with the top 4 going directly to tonight's Busby Gone A main. Is that pace truck just about ready to drop them off? Kevin Rost, Rock Stout, side by side on the opening row. They hit the loud pedal. We're underway.
Underway indeed with heat race number 2. Great start for the 71 car. Kevin Rost out to the race lead. Caleb Johnson, the 22 car. He's had a great couple of finishes the past few weeks. Now rocking into that 2nd place position. But here comes Brock Stout, 3 wide right behind them for that 4th and final transfer spot.
Troubles down at turn 1 and 2, a pair of them together. The 25 of Lewis and Goriel got together as they came up the racetrack. That's going to change things up front. Johnson now to the lead. Now we've got him crashing the 13 machine up in the fence. John Cutts, and apparently nobody wants to be in a transfer spot.
It is a wild and woolly Liquor Mart South. We stopped by there before the races here tonight. Caleb Johnson, Dylan Workman, Kevin Ross, Brock Stout. They brought the beefy cars here tonight. They run into transfer spots.
As Caleb Johnson, like I said, he's had a great couple of weeks here on the SODAK iRacing Series, now leading heat race number 2. Dylan Workman up to that 2nd spot. Kevin Ross, contact with Stout as Stout goes sideways and upside down. Like we said, not want to be in a transfer spot here in heat race number 2.
They're crashing to the back, but the top 2 staying the same. Caleb Johnson, Dylan Workman, Kevin Roast, and look at this. Elliot Omdahl with the beneficiary of the wrecks and the race is coming through. He is now coming to the 4th and final transfer spot. But look at this. As we go on board with Omdahl, there's a race coming up for the lead.
Yeah, it's been a good one for Omdahl as he's been able to sneak his way from last into a transfer. But up front, a good one starting again. Dylan Workman all over Caleb Johnson. Workman to the bottom. Johnson right rear, digging on the cush off of turn number 4. 2 laps to go.
Lap and a half to go here for your top 2. Workman almost got the slide job to stick in front of the number 22 of Johnson. Tries for it again off turn number 4 down the front straightaway this time. Still side by side for that race lead with a half a lap to go, Jerry.
Down the back straightaway, final time into turn 3 and 4. Here comes the White Castle. Serve him up. A crave cases. It's going to be now crossover move by Workman. Boom, bang, got it. He'll come off this turn 4 at the stripe. Dylan Workman with a win, Caleb Johnson, Kevin Rust, and then Elliot Omdahl, your top 4 transfer cars.
A lot of action all throughout that heat race. We're going to have some good cars in B and C main action here tonight. These drivers in heat race number 3 hoping things go a little bit cleaner. Volts Concrete brings us heat race number 3. Volts Concrete and Construction always has the experience and talent for any concrete job that you may need. Give them a call at 605-480-3672 anytime. And at Volts Concrete and Construction, they'll always give you a free estimate. Starting lineup for heat race number 3 has Jordan Opdahl in the 41 on the pole position. The 37 of Dylan Sampson joining him on the opening row.
Going to row number 2, it's going to be the 43 of Andrew Chenowitz to the inside. Into the outside, rolling off in P4, the 09, that's Dominic Dobesh.
Trey Thiesenfitz lining up in the 5th starting spot. That's the 53 machine up there in Brookings, South Dakota. Feature winner Kevin Plagman, the number 24 shooter, they call him. He'll line up outside row number 3.
Taking a look at your 7th and 8th place starters, that's going to be Bob Bestman of the 15 car, and the 187 is Matt Jiratowski to the outside. It looks like Austin Hahn going to come in on the 5th and final row of this one, Neestat.
Looking good. 10 laps, top 4 go to the A main here as the Rusted Design Center heat race number 3 brought to us by Volts Concrete Construction. Just about set to go. They've formed up behind Wally in the pace truck. We're going to make that stick all across iRacing too. And we're set for that green flag here in turn number 4. Scotty, let's get them underway.
Green flag coming out, and we're underway with your Volts Concrete heat race number 3. Opdahl out to the race lead. Here comes the 37 of Sampson, though, as they're stacking them 3 deep right behind them for that 3rd and 4th place spots.
Coming on down to the first scored lap. Look at this. You've got a blanket over top of them. Cover them on up and snuggle them on in for a little midnight snack. They go down the back straightaway. It's going to be Opdahl, then Sampson. Chenoweth now into the number 3 spot. Chenoweth looking to the outside as we hurry to turn 1.
Boy, Chenoweth made a big move there, getting into turn number 3. Couldn't make it pay off. Right now, Dominic Dobish holding on to the final transfer spot as we go on board. Your race leader, Jordan Opdahl, who just snuck around the outside of Dylan Sampson.
And working to the outside, you see the camera looking back. He's got a hungry pair of cars right behind him as he's holding on to that lead in the 41 car. Sampson tucked tail right behind him around the top side, as well as 09 of Dominic Dobesh and the 43 car of Chenoweth, your 4th and final transfer.
Racetrack going quick to the top, but just as we say that, look at the tail tank of Dylan Sampson. That's all the 41 of Opdahl can see. Now the crossover move coming to get together for the lead. Look at this. That's going to put the 37 back, but here comes the 43 machine up on the move. Look at this. They are moving and shaking and chocolate cake bacon for the lead.
What a mess it was there for a moment. The big capitalizer on this, here comes Trey Thiesenfitz. Thiesenfitz now up to the seconds just got by Dylan Sampson as Jordan Opdahl continues to lead this one with 3 laps to go. Sampson to the bottom, slide job coming, but here comes the 53 back to the inside. Thiesenfitz has it as Dobish makes contact.
Thiesenfitz to infinity and beyond in that 2nd place spot. Plegman up to 3rd now in car 24. And it's going to be Sampson as well holding on to that 4th and final transfer spot with coming up to 1 lap to go.
Down the front straightaway, white flag is waving in the air. It has been Jordan Opdahl, your race leader from the drop of the green on this one. Thiesenfitz right there to the number 2 spot. He'll take one last stab and grab to the bottom. Has he got anything for him? Nope. Hitting the win. Jordan Opdahl, your race winner. Trey Thiesenfitz. Then you'll see Kevin Plegman and Dylan Sampson. Uno, dos, tres, and cuatro to the A main.
Did you guys see Thiesenfitz hit the tail tank of Opdahl on that final lap? That was a good one. Uh-oh. Heat race number 4 is going to be a good one, too. Shores Racing brings us heat race number 4. Scotty, go ahead. Jerry, go ahead. Give us that starting lineup. Let's look at that front row.
Front row, all the way from parts unknown to the ladies, that is. That's Ross Van Eck. And to his outside teammate car, Josh Hofer. So a couple My Race Pass cars in the front row. And I tell you, at the end of this one lucky racer is gonna get a My Race Pass t-shirt.
I like it. Row number 2 has Troy Shores on the inside. The number 1 machine starts 3rd. Brett Nielsen, the number 10, he'll start outside of row number 2.
Your 3rd row, it's going to be to the inside, the 125, Lance Ripka, and cheering him on from the Cabaret, the number 3 to the outside, Connor Hamilton.
Going to row number 4, we will see Jordan Larson there in the 543 and Alex Tejan in the 32 car.
Final starter on the grid is Jeremy Clarenbeek in the 583 coming from the tail. 10 laps, top 4 go directly to the Buzz Be Gone A main. Look at those cars in that front row. My Race Pass all over them.
I tell you what, I think Austin Lloyd's got his money on the front 2 cars.
I bet he does.
If not, he'll hear about it at the water cooler tomorrow.
Virtual water cooler.
The virtual water cooler, yes, the virtual water cooler.
10 laps your distance. Top 4 go to the Buzz Be Gone A main. Heat race number 4 comes to the green.
Coming to the green flag, a look at that Trip 4 car. Ross Senek out to the race lead. The 1 of Travis Schurz quickly to that 2nd spot. The 94 car holding on to that 3rd transfer spot. And then Brett Nielsen in the 10, your 4th and final transfer, as here comes Lance Ripka around the bottom.
The old Flying Dutchman, Ross Van Eck up front, race leader on this one. Here comes the 1 of Shores. Shores is going to race to the bottom side. They're wheel to wheel for the race lead down the front straightaway. Side by side, about 3 rows back. Look at this, Van Eck going to rip the lip down the back straightaway.
Oh, it is a good one for the race lead, but you got to peek behind them. The battle for the transfer spot is involving at least 4 cars right now. Lance Ripka has it. Here comes Brett Nielsen around the outside of him. Meanwhile, Connor Hamilton and Alex Tejan, they're nipping at their heels as they race back to turn 3.
Back to turn 3 they go. Brett Nielsen, Lance Ripka side by side. And then Connor Hamilton in there as well, as we're on board with Nielsen looking back to Connor Hamilton, and Lance Ripka still working to the inside.
They'll work on down the front straightaway. Still Van Eck, Showers, Hofer, and Nielsen. That's your top four. Look at the move, swing, and a hitter out of the park. Goes Travis Shores to the race lead. Now Van Eck's going to come back through the slick on the bottom side as they work him down the front straightaway. This time, look at this. Here comes team runner Josh Hofer. It is a great three-car battle to turn 3.
They keep racing out front. Those three battle it out as Brett Nielsen holds the final transfer spot. But Connor Hamilton starting to rip that top side, and they are cheering him on at the cabaret. Right rear against the concrete, and finally bites him down the back straightaway. Nielsen with a bit of breathing room now as they work off of turn 4 with 2 to go.
2 laps to go, this time by the flag stand. Shures out with race lead, though. Van Eck and Hofer going at it in positions 2 and 3, and it is going to be Brett Nielsen to that 4th and final transfer spot. He's got a handful of the 3-car. Connor Hamilton down to the inside, slide job, and he's going to have that 4th transfer spot for just a split second, but Brett Nielsen bounces back on the bottom.
Nielsen back on the bottom, White's in the air. Connor Hamilton in the tray, up on the outside, going to rip the lift off at 2 and down the back straightaway. Everything up front's going to stay the same as well. I guess I got ahead of myself. That was the checkers. Let's take a look. Travis Shures with the win. Ross Van Eck going second. Oh, I just lost the top 3. Now here's what I need for you. You've got the results up there, don't you? Their brain mean machine. Now usually Ross Van Eck would finish in last place. I mean, it's a given. He's not real good. He got lucky tonight. Every squirrel finds a nut. So, who was our driver in last place finisher in that heat race?
Jeremy Clarenbeek finished in the 9th spot.
Jeremy Clarenbeek, you message support at My Race Pass tomorrow or when you're done tonight. Say, hey, sorry, I finished in the Ross Van Eck spot, and you've got yourself a My Race Pass t-shirt coming to you. So congratulations. Last place always should pay something to guys that try their hardest, and Ross usually does, but he wanted to make sure that our last place finisher got a tee tonight.
I like that. I like that. Shores, Van Eck, Hofer, and Hamilton get the transfers out of Heat 4. Heat 5 is on the track. Final heat race of the night. Matt Hansen on the pole in the 18. Karsten Hamilton, they're cheering him on in Carthage in the 014 outside the opening row. Skylar Devaney in row number 2. He's in the 8 machine, and then Ethan Johnson outside the 2nd row. Row 3, Carter Chevalier, 1 in the 15, the 20 of Austin Updahl. Row 4, Corey Goodall in the 333, the 99 of Austin Lloyd, and Benjamin Schaefer in the 89 will come from the tail. So 10 laps on the board, 4 more tickets to the big dance up for grabs, and we go green.
All right, here we go. Green's out, Scotty.
Green is out, and we are underway. Is going to be Skylar Devaney in the 8-car out in front, but no, it's going to be Ethan Johnson now to that 2nd place spot as they come off of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway.
Down into turn number 1 and 2. Look at this action. It is on up front. Down the back straightaway. They are working each other feverishly back there as they hurry on off of turn number 4. Look at this. Aiden Lloyd down there on the bottom, working up to the top side is that 014 now of Kirsten Hamilton. Hamilton and Lloyd have got themselves a great battle going.
Karsten Hamilton has the final transfer spot. Carter Chevalier just behind him. Aiden Lloyd, state football champion, running in that 3rd, maybe 4th spot, trying to go to the big dance here tonight after picking up the big dance for Brandon Valley last week in 11 AAA.
Is going to be Aiden Lloyd getting sideways as Carter Chevalier making contact with them. Ethan Johnson, the 33 car, though, with your race lead, battling with Skylar Devaney. Karsten Hamilton in 3rd, and Chevalier holding on to that 4th and final transfer spot.
Down the back straightaway, Reese is shaping for the lead. Devaney up front, working the top side of the racetrack. Watch him down to the bottom side. Ethan Johnson trying to find something down there in the moisture. They'll work off of turn number 1 and 2. It is still out front, Skylar Devaney. Then we'll see Johnson working the number 2 spot from 3rd on back. She's going to get dicey.
It is a dicey one indeed, Jay Van. Chevalier has that 3rd spot. A very thin cushion is what Aiden Lloyd is ripping around the racetrack, and he's put that Indy Race Parts car back into a transfer position. He comes off of turn number 4. We've got 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go. Aiden Lloyd holding on to 4th and final transfers, but Austin Abdal in the 20 trying to make a move, and then the 014 of Karsten Hamilton there as well, as they almost put him 3 deep down the front stretch into turn number 1.
They'll work him on down the back straightaway. White flag is a waving, and this time down the front straightaway. Checkers out. Skylar Devaney. Then we will see Ethan Johnson, the 015 machine. Carter coming there in the number 3 spot, and Aiden Lloyd going to the number 4 position. So those are your 4 transfer cars out of that heat race.
Oh, the track is getting exciting and dicey now, and it is time for a couple of consolation features. We'll start things off with the C main here tonight. This is scheduled to go 12 laps in distance. Top 4 transfers will move on to tonight's Caleb Johnson Racing B feature event. So 12 times around, only 4 move on. Starting grid on this one, we'll have John Coots, the 13 car. He'll line up on the pole position, and Austin Hahn joining him on row number 1.
Go ahead, Scotty.
It's going to be Lance Ripka to the inside of row number 2 in car 125, and Benjamin Schaefer in the 81 to the outside.
Going to row number 3, it's going to be John W. Pittman in the 38, and Brock Stout in the 49 rolls off P6.
Let's go to the... I'm lost
To the
myself.
dance?
Yeah, to the 4th row. Bob Bestman, the 15 on the inside. Alex Tijan outside. He'll start 8th on the grid in car 32.
Corey Goodall in car 333 starts in the 9th spot, and Brandon Grilly in the 2 car starts P number 10.
Let's take a look at row number 6. Scheduled to be there is going to be Tyler Gorel in the 4, and the 43 machine is Andrew Chenoweth.
Jeremy Clarenbeek in the 583 lines up 13th on the grid, and outside row number 7 will be Matt Hanton in car number 18.
So there you've got it. Cars and stars for C Main.
14 lining up, only 4 move on, just 12 laps to decide it. You guys, looking at this racetrack, we talk about how tough this is, and I think we've seen a byproduct of some of the toughness of this racetrack in these heat races. Seeing it get really, really slick right now, and this one is one of those tracks where the middle, it will eat you up in a hurry. You've got to be right there up on the concrete or way down there on the very bottom of the racetrack. Going to be interesting to watch that in these consolation feature events.
As Patruck's going to dive into the infield, green is out. We are underway with our C feature. John Coots out in the 13 car to the race lead. Lance Ripka in that 2nd place spot, and then John Pittman and Bob Bestman, your top 4.
Bestman took a swing to the bottom of the racetrack. That'll put him to the number 4 spot as they hustle on down. Austin Hahn back there in the 07. It's going to get 3 wide right behind him. Here comes Brock Stout. Stout going to be on the button in that 49 machine. Ooh, up the hill as we go on board with Bestman down the front straightaway.
Bestman takes a look to the inside of the 38 of Pittman. They go wheel to wheel down the back straightaway. Bestman to the bottom. He'll get the run into turn number 3. Now slides up the hill, gets the tail wagging, but he is transferred up to the 3rd spot with Brock Stout now in the final transfer position. Lots of company behind him though, Scotty.
As Brock Stout gets slideways down the backstretch, and that's going to be the 32 car into the mix as well. Into the wall, but we're still green as Brandon Grilly and the 38 car battle out for position. That's going to be Grilly and Pittman, and now it's Pittman up the hill in car 38.
They'll work their way down the front straightaway. Let's keep an eye on this battle right now. Grilly's got it. Austin Hahn looking to open, a tall boy silo, a bush latte, and see if he's got anything to do up there. Andrew Chenoweth, though, has come from deep in the field, working the top of the racetrack. Like you said, Sean, racetrack is changed. It's got character. She's slick. She's got grip, and you've got to know right where to put that machine.
Chenoweth right now is doing exactly that. He's moved up 7 positions so far, but he's 1 spot out with 5 laps to go. He's got to chase down Brandon Grilly. They're separated by just under 9/10 of a second.
And you're watching Austin Hahn as well. He's moved to the top of the racetrack now to try to run down Chenoweth. Brandon Grilly working through the middle of the racetrack, trying to get a run on the 15 of Bestman. Coots still your race leader. Lance Ripka in position number 2 on board with Grilly now, with Bestman working to his inside.
Bestman will run down to the inside. Now he's going to try to show the tail tank, and they'll go board to board down the back straightaway. The 15 of Bestman still going to keep it in that number 3 spot. But when this is all happening, look at Chenoweth, clean air. He's coming. Daly double down the back straight, down the front straightaway. Watch that 43 and Eastat. He is on a mission.
And that will move the 43 of Chenoweth up to the 3rd spot. Now Bestman and Grilly, suddenly they find themselves battling for that one last ticket to tonight's B feature event. Bestman has it, Grilly wants it. Last time down the back straightaway.
Into 3 and 4 and off of 4 now. Who wants it? Who needs it? Who's going to get it? It's going to be Bestman, I believe, for that 4th and final transfer spot, as Jimmy Scott would say. Bob Bestman, Andrew Chenoweth, Lance Ripka, and John Coots punching their way to the B feature.
Oh my, things getting good here tonight, and it's just going to keep getting better as we turn our attention now to the Caleb Johnson Racing B feature event. 14 laps is the distance, and 4 of these drivers go on to the Buzz Be Gone A main. Starting lineup on this one has your quick timer, Tyler Johnson, and he's your points leader. He'll line up on the pole position. Shane Lewis, the 25, joins him on row number 1.
Starting third, going to be the 09 of Dominic Dobesh, and to his outside, the 10, Brett Nielsen.
Let's take a look at row number 3 to the left-hand side. It's Austin Opdahl there in the 20 car. And the 111 to the outside to the right of him is Ryan McCarty in P6.
In the 4th row, it's Evan Miller, the 39 inside. Matt Jaratowski, the 1J. He'll start in 8th.
Starting in 9th is going to be Jordan Larson in the 543. To the outside, the 014, Carson Hamilton.
Let's take a look at 11 and 12th starter. That is Travis Johnson rolling off 11th. And out of the C main, the 13th star, the 13 starting 12 is John Coots.
Lance Ripka starts 13th on the grid. In the 125, Andrew Chenoweth, the 43, lines up in position 14.
Bob Bestman starting shotgun on the field in our number 15.
So, boys, we are set. Tyler Johnson and Chance Lewis going to roll off from the front row as we are looking for this one. 14 laps in the distance. Looking for our final transfer cars to come out of this into tonight's A-main, and we are green flag off of turn 4.
Down into turn number 1, they'll hustle. Tyler Johnson has it. Dominic Dobish in that 2nd spot. Shane Lewis has lost several positions on this opening lap, trying to get the momentum built up on the top side. He's gone from the front row out of a transfer spot as he battles with Brett Nielsen. 1 lap in.
1 lap in, 13 to go. Look at John Coots in the 13 car making up some ground as he came out of a C feature. Bestman going along for the ride as well in car 15. Shane Lewis trying to battle back as well with Jaratowski to the bottom.
They'll work him there deep and green off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Watch this battle. You've got him 3 wide, and keep an eye on the 13. John Coots, is he going to go tasting the soup tonight? They'll get him in there. They'll get him tough. Man, their elbows up here in the B main to make their way to the A.
Oh, if you don't think these drivers want to go to the big dance, that just showed you otherwise. They're beating, they're banging. Hoosiers everywhere. It's Tyler Johnson out front as we go on board on the 13 of John Coots.
John Coots has already moved up that 5th position, 1 out of a transfer spot to tonight's Buzz Be Gone A feature, but he's got a little ground to make up if he's going to run down the 10 of Brett Nielsen.
He's got to get in. He's got to pin it to win it. Well, he doesn't have to win it. He's just got to finish in that 4th place spot, boys, if he wants to make his way in. He has been on a mission. Now he goes back to the bottom where he was in the B main, where he won that from. You got to wonder, is the bottom still there? Is it gone? Or is it just kind of hang on and, well, is 5th going to be good enough for you tonight?
It is a tough racetrack right now. It's Austin Opdahl. He's showing there's still a top line out there. The Opdahl Farms number 20 taking over the race lead. They'll come flash by the line with 6 laps to go. Johnson now 2nd, Dobish and Nielsen in the transfer spots.
Tyler Johnson was working the bottom, went to the top for a split second, now working the bottom again as Austin Opdahl rips the lip around the top side of the racetrack. In that 3rd place spot, Dominic Dobesh, and still Brett Nielsen in that 4th and final transfer spot. John Coots trying to run them down on the outside, looking in.
We'll go on board with Johnson as he chases down Opdahl down the front straightaway. Laps are winding down. 4 remaining in this one. You've got to hurry and scurry down the back straightaway to see if you can make it there. Like we said, John Coots, look at this. He has caught the back. He's caught that battle for the race for fourth down the straightaway. Can he do it in the 13 car?
Brent Nielsen works the middle of the racetrack, leaving the bottom open for Coots. Can he capitalize? We go on the nose of the 13. It works the very bottom of the racetrack. They nearly touch, and John Coots takes over the final transfer spot with 2 laps to go.
Lap and a half coming. Coots up to that 4th place position. Nielsen shuffled back to 5th. Coots now to try to catch the tail tank of the 09 of Dobesh with the white flag coming out.
We're going to see Opdahl, Johnson, Dobesh, and Coots, your top 4. Can they stay that way? They hustle off of turn number 4, going the A main. Austin Opdahl in the 20. The 5 of Tyler Johnson, Dominic Dobesh in the 09. And, well, came from the C through the B and going to start 24th in the A. That will be John Coots in the lucky number 13.
Oh, my. What a couple of feature events so far, gentlemen. That has been very, very entertaining.
Yes, it's all.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Oh no, I was going to say almost as entertaining as a Wednesday night at the cabaret.
Oh.
I not been there. Like I said, we're going to make a trip sometime. We'll pick up Scotty and the gang, and we'll cruise up through Sioux City and come to Sioux Falls, and we'll drink our way to the cabaret and get our fill at the cabaret. But yeah, I've always heard it gets rowdy there on Wednesdays. Heard it.
I don't know about how rowdy they get up there.
I've heard they take Hump Day to an all-new level in the cabaret.
I have my first drink is free when we get there. Matt Sturwald, 3-time I-90 Speedway, late model street stock champion, has bought my first drink for when we roll into the cabaret, and I have the token. It still sits on my dresser, so we are going to get up there. I'm going to cash that in.
I just want to know if I can get a free get-out-of-jail card from the cabaret if I go up there, because it sounds like it could turn into a rowdy kind of night.
I think that's what my free drink ticket really is.
Oh! Shoot low, Sheriff. They're riding shotguns. Practice and a little warm-up on the racetrack.
Yeah, they'll have a little under 5 minutes out there on the racetrack to get it worked in. The track crew came out where he worked the racing surface, so it'll be set for that Buzz Be Gone A feature. Buzz Be Gone bringing us all of the A features all season long with the Asphalt Pros SODAK iRacing series. Buzz Be Gone is a pest control company. They're located down in Larchwood, Iowa. If you've got a farm, they'll serve that. If you've got a feedlot, they'll serve your pest control needs there as well. If you've got a dairy farm, or maybe you're just residential like me, they can help your pest control issues as well. That's Buzz Be Gone bringing you tonight's A feature.
Now, do you think if I call them in the morning, they'll come down to West Des Moines? I got this pest comes by, knocks on the door about 3:30 every morning. Can they get rid of that pest too?
I thought you were going to say you're the pest. I think that's what everyone else in the household would say, so you better be what you wish for.
Either way, I think they can probably get rid of me and the pest outside.
Somebody really makes noise at 3:30 in the morning?
Well, you never know. I mean, I'm not up to hear it. I mean, it can happen. I mean, we could be like Scotty and get up at 3:30 and go check on the pork butt that's going on the grill in the morning. What time, Scotty? What time's it going to be done?
That's a good question. Probably about 4:30 or 5 in the morning, probably.
I would imagine I'll get up to a Snapchat of it then.
Oh, I think we can work something out.
Yes. You know, all I got to say is I'm glad that you got Kenny, Kendra, Keith, Carmen, Candace, and Carrie kidney stones all gone. I'm glad that the whole kidney stone family has left the building and gone back home there, Scotty. Glad to have you back on the mend and back with us. It's, trust me, I've never had that many kidney stones at once. I've had one. I can't imagine what that many felt like.
Yeah, 8 kidney stones is no fun. So glad they have all packed their bags and left. So.
All right, I'm going to pivot this conversation away from these stones and towards our Hard Charger Award, which is brought to us by Pivot Companies in tonight's A main. The Hard Charger going to pick up $20. Of course, we'll also have the Back Row Challenge up for grabs here for a front row starter to come from the back. It's brought to us by a Broken Arrow Whitetails. It's up to $90. And if it doesn't get claimed, it's going to roll into the Season Hard Charger Fund. Of course, there's also a nightly payout with the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. $50 to the winner, $30 for second, $20 for third. And they're all going for championship points. That'll pay out $400 at the end of our 10-week series. And just in case folks didn't hear it earlier, we're back at it next Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Central. Super late models, Lernerville Speedway. It'll be an exciting one. We've never raced super late models with the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. And so that will be an exciting learning curve for these drivers. And Lernerville, one of my favorite tracks on iRacing. So look forward to next Wednesday night here with the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. You can watch it right here on Facebook, absolutely free once again.
So, as Anthony Ainsley would say it, it's full fenders and fat tires next Wednesday night.
Looking forward to that. Of course, Asphalt Pros brings us the entire 10-week series, not just tonight's action, but all 10 weeks. They've got the experience and equipment for your residential and commercial jobs of any size, whether you're looking to install a new asphalt surface or repair, maintain, or resurface an existing one. Asphalt Pros will help get that project done efficiently and correctly. Time is winding down on practice. It's all been building to this, gentlemen. It is time for tonight's Buzz Be Gone, a feature event for the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. Let's look at tonight's starting lineup.
Starting 24th and driving his shirt off to make his way there. So by starting 24th tonight, John Coots. All you got to do, support at myracepass.com, and you've got the J-Band Sports 24th starter spot tonight. You got a free t-shirt coming to you courtesy of myself and the Fank Gang at My Race Pass. And rolling off 23rd, it's Dominic Dobesh in the 09.
We move to the 11th row outside. It's your points leader, the 5 of Tyler Johnson, and going from 21st will be the 20 of Austin Opdahl.
Starting in your 20th spot, that's going to be the number 99 of Aiden Lloyd. And to the inside, the number 3 car, the Cabaret's Connor Hamilton.
Let's take a look at row number 9 to the outside. It will be the 37 of Dylan Sampson. And his inside, that'll be the 51 of Elliot Amdahl.
We go to row number 8 in car number 17 on the outside. It's Bruce Jones. And going from 15th in the 15C, it's Carter Chevalier.
Row 7 is going to look like this. To the outside in the 94 car, that is Josh Hofer. And to the inside in car 24, it's shooter Kevin Plagueman.
Now let's take a look at your top 12 starters. Rolling off 12th tonight, it will be Kyle Roseboom in the 42. Into his inside in the 75, it's Dylan Workman.
Lining up outside row number 5, it's Jordan Opdahl in car 41. And 9th on the grid, the number 1 of Travis Shores.
Pushing off in position number 8 is going to be the 8 car of Skylar Devaney to the outside of row 4. And to the inside, it's the birthday boy, Ice Cold Michelob, Michaela Bolts in car 23.
Moving into your top 6, rolling off third row to the outside, it'll be Caleb Johnson in the 22. Into his inside, driving the 53, it's Trey Thiesenvitz.
Starting 4th, it's Ross Van Eck in the 444. And 3rd on the grid, the 33 of Ethan Johnson.
Your front row is Kevin Rost and Tanner Koster. As green is out, we are underway with your Buzz Be Gone A feature. 4 wide, first and second for the race lead as Kevin Ross leads them into turn 3 and 4.
We'll work him down the front straightaway for lap number 1. Look at this. They're going to fan him out 3 and 4 wide down into turn number 1 and 2. Your race leader, Johnson. Now Ross back to the inside. Johnson and Ross working 1 and 2. Look at this. Koster right there going to split the middle. He is the meat in the sandwich and looking for the lead. Boom. Got it.
It is a good one as they race down into turn number 2 now. Ethan Johnson as the yellow flag flies for the first time in this Buzz Be Gone A main. Boy, how about the move here early on? Tanner Koster, defending series champion, showing he is ready to break into that win column.
Oh, exactly. I mean, working on it, getting hungry back there as they will watch these back markers. Like we said, racetrack looks good right now, Sean. I think we should see some. I think we should see some moving and shaking from the tail, working their way up.
Absolutely. You can gain a lot of positions and try to work for that Pivot Company's Hard Charger Award on a tight little racetrack like this. Of course, the man out front right now, Ethan Johnson, he does not want to see a whole lot of moving and shaking going on. He is out front liking the view in front of that number 33 ride. Also keep an eye right there in third, Scotty. Trey Thiesenvitz, that number 53 machine, he's right there. It seems like we talk about him a lot up towards the front week in, week out. You know, he's ready to go into that win column as well.
That he is. So let's see if he can cup his first win here in car 53. You see that Buzz Lightyear 2 Infinity and Beyond fire suit on the 53 car. So let's see what he can do this week back to the green.
We'll look for the green flag to come back to the air. Pace truck rolls to the infield. They're wheel to wheel off of turn number 4. Johnson on the inside and the outside. That 97 to Coster. Coster's going to throw it right to the top. Look at this. We're going to go back to some great 2, 3, and possibly 4 wide action down into turn number 3 and 4.
Oh, Michaela Volt's got the car a little sideways, and now they're banging around over there in turn number 3. We'll see if we get a caution. As we do. Oh, yeah, there was big-time trouble over there in turn number 3. Michaela Volt's got the 23 ride a little sideways down the back straightaway, a little contact, and then a whole bunch of chaos ensued after that.
Yeah, just little slideways for Volts there. Make contact with Travis Schurz in the 1 car, and I believe Ross Van Eyck in the 444 as well.
Yeah, you see the front nose wing off of Van Eyck's machine as things, as you would say, got steppy over there in turn 3 and 4, is bringing out another caution.
Aiden Lloyd down there in the pit area early on in this one as they work on the Indy race parts, number 71. Michaela Volts has been able to continue on with that 23 machine. Doesn't look any worse for the wearer, but he's lost 16 spots and restarts 23rd.
Looks like, oh, yep, go ahead, Jerry.
Oh, Ross Van Eyck pulling pit side. I was going to ask, because we saw it a couple weeks ago. Does anybody know, did Austin Lloyd find an iRacing setup yet? Because I know he was looking one because he didn't want it. He wanted to see if he could beat his brothers.
I don't think he has yet. He's not on here tonight. We'll have to see.
We will have to.
He's tuned in tonight, but not racing tonight, no.
Speaking of tuned in, we're tuned into a green flag back into action. Ethan Johnson brings us off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Trey Thiesenvitz to the inside of Tanner Coster. They race for second as Travis Schurz flashes through the screen right behind them.
And yellow back out.
Big wreck down the back straightaway last time involving the 7 machine. We'll get a replay on that, but there was a little bit of contact back there as they came to the green flag on the restart and working that lap number 1 right there at the entrance to turn number 3. They got together and see who was in there. The 71 machine of Kevin Rost and I believe the other car. Not sure who was in that one.
Tough break there. Kevin Rost was up there right around the 13th or 14th spot, I think, when the caution flag came out. So going to cost him a lot of spots. You get one quick repair in the A-Mains for the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros, which basically means you got to give up some track position, go down, and they'll repair the car quickly. But yeah, after that, you've got to sit there and wait and wait and wait forever to get back out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, so the other car involved was the, I believe, 22 machine. Going back, Travis.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, Caleb Johnson down there in the work area. He was in the top 5 just a few moments ago.
So cleanup continues.
And it's done.
If it was an old World of Outlaw shows, it'd be old Working Woody out there getting things back and ready to go for you.
We are ready. We are going. Ethan Johnson leads them back to turn number 3. As we're still early on in this Buzz Be Gone A feature event. Johnson works to the bottom of the racetrack. Tanner Coster all over Trey Thiesenvitz, who is stuck into the 2nd position.
As caution flag flies once again, 7 laps into the books here. Like we said, tight racetrack. And as the track breaks down, it gets slicker and a little bit hard to handle. So definitely going to see a little more contact than we would normally see on like the half-mile tracks.
I think one thing, guys, here that may be throwing some of these drivers for a loop right now is the track is in a weird position. It's not tacky like the beginning of a race, and it's not really crazy slick like we're going to see when we get into the second half of this race. So you can feel a little bit too confident right now that, yeah, your car is going to stick, and then you hit one of those slick spots, and you push up or you get a little loose, and then there's contact, and things happen in a hurry on this little racetrack.
They can. I mean, track position is crucial when we come to these restarts, and then, like you said, it's also finding that spot on the racetrack. You know, because like you said, you try to pull one of them Hail Marys and start sliding that thing to the top, and you find that part of the racetrack that's got a little bit of moisture, and that will totally bring that thing up on off of the left side with the big wing and cause you to hook as we get ready to go back to the green.
We'll see if we can get into a rhythm here as they go 3 cars battling for that second spot. Shores split through the middle. The number 1 machine off at the top of turn number 2. Travis Shores up to 3rd. Tanner Costa runs in 2nd. Out front, it's Ethan Johnson.
Side by side for that 4th and 5th place spot between Thiesenvitz and Kevin Blegman. Out front, though, Ethan Johnson with the race lead. Shores riding around the top side, trying to run down your race leader.
Down the front straightaway, look at this. It's on like Donkey Kong up front. Thiesenvitz up there on the top side of the racetrack. You got him chasing the 1 machine of Travis Shores. There we work him to the caution. Yellow flag back out on this one.
Looks like Skylar Devaney in the 8 car going pit side.
Tough break there for Devaney, who we saw run towards the front at portions of tonight's program. Boy, there is a lot of action all over the racetrack here, guys, with 24 cars out there on the track. There's no room to hide, and if somebody makes a mistake, things happen in a hurry.
Yes, they can. One slip of the grip can cost you on these little bull rings like here at Lernerville. They can cost you, well, as we see, anywhere from about 1 to 7 or 8 spots. And if you got to race your way back, you know, it's kind of what's nice also about the smaller, little tight high bank racetracks. You can, if you do lose a little bit of ground, you still got a good opportunity to try to race your way back up.
I would be surprised if some of these names that we've said have been in incidents here early on. We're talking about up there in the mix of the top 5 or better at the conclusion of this one. So let's come back to the green flag. Let's jump right up there on the nose of Trey Thiesenvitz in car number 53 as we get set for this restart about a quarter of the way through this 40-lapper.
Green flag is back out, back underway here, as you said, on board with Thiesenvitz, and you can see the tight battle for that top 2 spots between Johnson and Shores. Tanner Coster in the mix as well, as it's going to be Shores and Thiesenvitz up on the top side with Coster and Johnson on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Top 4 looking to put a clinic on each other. It is Shores up around the top side. Oh, he'll kiss the creek down into turn number 3. That is going to put him right there to the tail tank. Here comes Thiesenvitz. Thiesenvitz up on the outside. Top 4 starting to break away as there was great racing all the way through the field.
Really impressive right now. Those drivers working the top side, and Ethan Johnson showing the patience to continue on the bottom, but lead change. Travis Shores to the point now as they rip around at the top of turn number 2.
As we're on board the tail tank of Travis Shores, looking behind him at Thiesenvitz. Thiesenvitz tucked tail following in the tire tracks of the 1 car. Johnson shuffled back to that 3rd place spot for a moment. Tanner Coster still there, and you can see Thiesenvitz just kissing the tail tank as we come into the corner of 3 and 4.
Man, what a job up front. It's Thiesenvitz. Now he'll show the patience on the bottom of the racetrack as Travis Shores is going to work the momentum and keep it up on the outside as he tickles the top side. You got to be careful. That right rear can hurry up and get into the creek pretty quick. Now Thiesenvitz in the 53 bobbled as Johnson and him still are side by side into turn 3.
Also, tip of the cap right now, Carter Chevalier into the top 5. The 15C's got plus 10 positions already in this event with still 23 laps to go. But out front, it's Travis Shores, Trey Thiesenvitz, Ethan Johnson, and Tanner Coster, the top 4 as we put another lap into the books.
You want to talk about hard chargers, John Coots from a C main up to that 12th position as contact with Coots just as I speak, bringing out the caution.
Yellow flag is out as things got exciting back there. I heard all kinds of ohs. I didn't look, boys, but unfortunately, T-shirt's going to come in pretty handy because that's going to be the consolation prize for the 13 car. As like we said, having a great run, but just unfortunate contact back there deeper in the field on his run to the front.
Also, guys, while you were looking elsewhere, there was contact up front in the race for the lead. The 1 of Shores and the 53 of Thiesenwitz made contact, and it looks like Thiesenwitz has lost several spots. Shores runs out front.
Thiesenwitz slow around the bottom of the racetrack, Sean. Couple laps before that, he got into turn number 1 and got up in there on that, and we'll see if we can find out. He may be getting an EOL for some reason, so we'll see if we can maybe get some clarification on the dropping back of the 53 car.
Oh, there it is, the 1 of Travis Shores heading towards the back of the field. So EOL, end of line penalty. Took me forever when I got into iRacing to figure out what in the world EOL stood for. But your race leader now going to the back. We've got Tanner Koster and Ethan Johnson now going to bring us to the green flag.
And behind them, Kevin Legman, and I believe that's Carter Chevalier in the 15th, up to 4th place right now.
We'll get ready to come back to the green flag as we are just shy. Old Zach Heidebrink high in the starter stand. Going to watch this field as we go on board Koster, as we've got a great look at the green flag waving in the field, rocking and rolling into turn number 1 and 2.
Great restart for Kevin Blagman, the 24 machine up to second. Here comes Chevy. Carter Chevalier up across the nose of the 33 of Ethan Johnson. 3 deep for the 3rd spot.
4 wide for a split second. Still 3 as Dylan Workman goes around. Caution flag coming out as we're halfway down, halfway to go.
Caution flag at the cross sticks, and man, Chevalier was moving and shaking back there in that number, the 42 of Rosenboom had some great moves, and then just right behind him, things went chain reaction back to the caution.
Boy, this one still, I'm really not sure who is sitting in the driver's seat right now in terms of this race. You've had so many different things going on. It's easy to look at your defending champion out there, the 97 of Tanner Koster, and think, he's in a good spot, or Kevin Plagman, who we've seen win this season, but I'm not sure. There's so many different things going on right now out there on the track.
Yes, there is. I tell you what, as we get this, you watch it, you can see the racetrack changing, starting to slick off, and it is going to, it's going to create, I thought it was on that last restart, guys, I thought there was a parade lap down the front straightaway. They were 4 wide getting into turn 1 deep in the field.
This has been unbelievable action as they get stacked up once again. Saw Austin Lloyd get a wave around to get a lap back. We come back to the green. Tanner Koster, your race leader in the 97, picks up the pace. And back to racing we are into turn number 1.
Back into turn number 1, 3, 4 wide for a split second there. Look at Chevalier on the top side. Plagman through the middle. Johnson down on the bottom. And here comes the 41 of Opdahl along for the ride.
They'll work him on into the 24. Plagman working the top side of the racetrack, holding back Chevalier. Chevy working, and here comes the 17 of Bruce Jones. Jones now into the number 4 spot. They're going to be 3 wide now, trying to fan it out, almost 4 wide. Back down the front straightaway here on the back half of your A main.
Boy, it's a good one for Bruce Jones. He's gained 12 positions in this feature event, as has Chevalier. They each race in the top 5. Kevin Plagman's gone plus 11 in this A feature. They're all trying to chase down the 97 of Tanner Koster as we go on board Tyler Johnson, who's just outside the top 5. Oh, big wreck there. Carter Chevalier into the outside wall.
Car going upside down, bringing out the caution. Chevalier going upside down. Wow. Tough luck for the 015 car as he was having such a good run.
I remember, boys, what I said about that big right rear tire and concrete. They just don't go together. I mean, it's not like peanut butter and chocolate or peanut butter and jelly. It's more like sardines and salmon. Neither one are a good mix alone, let alone together.
I think peanut butter and chocolate, wouldn't that be Nutella?
No, that'd be a Reese's peanut butter cup, and I really am craving one right now.
Ooh, that does sound good. I
Frozen.
Oh.
They gotta be frozen. I tell you what, boys. I tell you what. It's no kidding. Had a customer the other day at work. You won't believe it. They thought I did a good job. They brought me a Snickers, king size. Guess where it's at?
in the freezer.
The only place you put a Snickers, because you eat them frozen.
You know, I love coming down to Boone. They've got fantastic racing all the time down there at the Boone Speedway, but you go to the concession stand, deep fried Oreos.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Oh,
I have yet to have one.
What?
I've never been to Boone Raceway, but we're going to be back under green here. Great start from Tanner Coster in car 97.
Coster lead him on down. Look at this, back to the top side, and that's going to be Plagman. Plagman's going to see Jones. Look at this. Jones is on a mission. He is trying to storm to the front. Down the front, straight away they go. Jones will come back to the inside once again, working the midsection of the racetrack in that 5 of Tyler Johnson into the number 4 spot.
Johnson from the B main, working for 4th, working for 3rd. He'll get by Plagman as they go by the flag stand. Now Johnson to the top shelf. He'll try to build the momentum and come after Bruce Jones for position number 2.
Meanwhile, back in that 8th place spot, John Coots from a C main, putting it 3 deep now off turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Coots up to that 8th position in car 13.
And he's doing it all without the front nose wing. Oh, and he'll see the 3 machine. Connor Hamilton right ahead of him. You know, the cabaret's cheering him on, saying, what are you doing letting that guy with no wing on the front beat you? Working it down on the bottom of the racetrack. Here we go. Like we said, great battle for 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
As you guys watch that, I'm watching up front. Kevin Plagman all over the 5 of Tyler Johnson. Johnson is in 4th, just got a little bit of the concrete, getting into turn 1. Plagman right there, and Kyle Roseboom in the 5th spot. Goes to the inside of Plagman through 3 and 4.
Tanner Coster still with the race lead in car 97. Bruce Jones trying to run him down on the bottom side as we're on board with Kevin Plagman in that 4th spot. You can see Johnson working the inside as well as Bruce Jones, and Tanner Coster still out in front.
They'll work them on down, laps winding down. We are 8 to go this time past the starter stripe. Down the back, straight with the 5 of Johnson, sitting in the number 3 spot, the 24. The old transformer there. Kevin Plagman working it around the top side, trying to make something happen. He will once again work that thing all the way to the top. But I tell you what, the top may be chewed up, and that midsection has come around for the 5 of Johnson.
Yellow flag going to bunch the field up here for a dash to the finish. You know what's interesting here, watching Kevin Plagman here in the 4th spot here the last several laps. He said in Victory Lane at the Knoxville Raceway that he's really worked on his driving style to get better at the bottom. We saw him last year run around the top of the racetracks week in, week out, and then he said he's really tried to be a more patient driver, learn the rhythm of the bottom. It seems like he's throwing that one out here as he has been right up there next to the concrete wall here at Lanier Speedway the last several laps in that 24 machine.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, Sean and Jerry, you know, the top side really coming in, the bottom side as well. That middle just seems to be wearing out ever so slightly. So we'll definitely have to watch the top and bottom side to see which one will be the better line to come to the front here, as we're going to go back to green with 6 laps to go.
All right, working on in just shy. Well, kids, we got a trophy dash left in this one. So let's see how quick we can get this one rolled on in and make our way to Victory Lane. See who's going to put her atop the podium as the caution light's still staying on the racetrack.
You know, guys, I really think you can run just about anywhere on the racetrack right now. The bottom is pretty well worn out. The top is worn out. So if you can get a good run through the middle, not spin the tires, you know, really use both feet and a lot of brains right now, I think you can run just about anywhere on this racetrack. So I think we're in for a treat here to finish this one off.
I'm definitely out because you talked about using brains, so I'm just going to watch these guys do it.
Here we go. Looks like the pace truck goes in. We're back to green here at Lanier with the SODAK iRacing Series.
Single file restart as Tanner Coster puts it out in front again. Bruce Jones running through the middle. Everyone down on the bottom side of the racetrack as Tanner Coster still to the middle. Bruce Jones trying to run him down.
Jones has done everything he can. He will rip the kitchen sink off in the last couple laps of this one and try to get up around that 97 of Tanner Coster. Coster still your leader. Jones working second. Johnson, Plegman, Roseboom. Your top 5 as laps winding down this time. Should be 4 to go.
Oh, just outside the top 5. It's getting good right now. The 75 of Dylan Workman trying to make his way back in the top 5. Just banged the wall. Austin Opdahl coming from the back of the field in the 20 machine. He sits back there in the 7th spot. They're running short on time. 3 laps to go for Tanner Coster.
3 laps to go, almost going side by side here with Kevin Plegman and Kyle Roseboom. The 42 and the 24 battling out for a position. Here comes Dylan Workman on the top side, kissing the wall ever so slightly in car 75.
The sand is running slow, running quick in the hourglass. It is almost done. The 75 Workman still trying to knock the concrete down the back straightaway. This time they come across it green, high to the air. 2 to go. It's still Workman trying, but Coster out front, going to lead him on down to the white flag.
Coster off of turn number 4. He'll see the white flag flying. Bruce Jones still in that 2nd spot, trying to fold off the 5 of Tyler Johnson. Plegman, a big battle there. The checkered is out. Things go quick. It is Tanner Coster getting his first win of the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros of the Year. Dylan Workman is going to give him a little shot to congratulate his teammate. And we're going to do some donuts here. Your race leader, Tanner Coster, celebrating. Back to victory lane for last year's champion on the halfway point of the season. Boy, guys, it got exciting there in the end. As we were talking about, just about every inch of the racetrack was being used.
No doubt about it. Used everything up. Still doing a little bit of a celebrating out there. Tanner Coster going to be making his way down to victory lane here momentarily. What a run as our top 3 down there. Now he's just showing off. Look at that. He said, boys, check this out. This is what you get to do if you win.
Yeah, the winner sets the pace. You don't have to worry about going to victory lane. You get to play until you run out of fuel or blow tires. That's your choice.
Look at he's even showing off. He's backing it up in victory lane.
Moonwalk.
Yes.
That was a show there as Tanner Coster is going to get his first win. Look at that. He's already joining us here. Climbing out of the car, the defending series champion, Tanner Coster. Welcome back to victory lane.
Oh, man, I was starting to think I wasn't going to get back here. It's been a tough first half of the season up to this point. I mean, the competition has been ridiculous. These guys everybody's been putting in more time, and it shows because it's been tough to even run top 3. I did not expect to win this one of all the races. Me and Dylan work a lot together, and I told him, I said, I'm just not confident with this combination of car and track, and we kept playing with the setup and finally hit on something right before the main. Actually, he said, well, try changing this a couple of clicks. And I went out in the warm-up and I said, I like this. This is the feel I've been looking for, and it really came in at the end.
So when we're done here, you're going to send that setup over to me for future use. But no, I'm kidding. You don't have to do that. You talked about it there briefly, the level of competition with this series. Compare it to last year. How big of a jump forward do you think it really is?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, last year, we had probably a handful, maybe a dozen at most guys where you felt, those guys could go out and be contenders to be there. And, last season, I would kind of look at the heats and be like, okay, this heat's a little more slack. I feel like it's, not any big names. And this season, we've got 5 heats instead of 4. In every heat, I'm like, man, it's stacked. You've got 3 or 4 guys that could win that heat. It's just, there's a lot more people and a lot of names that are showing up in the mains and are contenders. It's made my life a lot tougher, and I've had to work harder to try and actually be competitive with these guys. So
we know if you can repeat the championship, there's $400 on the line for the champion this time around. You had a tough start. Week number 1, USA 410 sprint cars. We'd like to forget that night. I know you certainly would. But you've been climbing back through the point standings, back up there towards the top. Have you been watching that? And I guess how much attention do you pay to point standings at this point of the series?
I pay a lot to that. honestly, I'm not about going or I'm not trying to go out and win each week. You know, that's ideal, but I'm more so in it for the long haul. Kind of try to be consistent, try to be top 5, top 3 every week. So I keep a close eye on that. I know tonight the win's great, but I'm not going to gain much on Tyler. He out qualified me, and I beat him a couple spots in the heat and barely beat him in the feature. So it's not going to be a big swing, but we're going to be right there all 10 weeks.
Well, we always have to ask you in victory lane before we go to the next week. We're talking super late models, and next week we're going to Lernerville. What do you think
Yeah.
about that one?
Those cars are going to be interesting, and that track is going to be interesting. So um, I'll have to do some practice more so this week. You know, we've done the 360 deal a lot, and we've done Lanier a lot, but that's something that I haven't done a whole terrible lot with. So it'll be. I hope it puts on a good race.
We'll look forward to that. Congratulations on the win here tonight.
Thank you.
Tanner Koster picks up the victory. Just behind him was Bruce Jones, finishing a very strong second for him. Let's go over to Jerry Van Sickle to talk to our runner-up.
Bruce, nice run to the runner-up spot. Walk us through that one. This place looked awful racy tonight.
Boy, this track changes so much and in so many different ways that you never know what's going to happen. And really, the middle just kind of came in the last 15 or 20 laps, and it was like you're on an escalator.
Just kind of worked you to the top, and you could just slide back to the bottom. But it looked, we saw 2 or 3 distinct lines out there. It looked like once you got, you worked your way through the field. Once you got up into that second and third spot, it looked like things just kind of locked up for you, didn't it?
Yeah, there was any chance of getting past Tanner. When we finally got there, it was because of a caution, and we could run together, but there was no way you're going to get around him.
Yeah, kind of tough to get around him tonight. No, good-looking hot rod. You got some folks that help you out, making that thing look good and helping you get through the SODAK League. Who you want to thank for this runner-up spot here tonight?
Yeah, you bet. The Farlow Motorsports team, 6 or 8 of us kind of pulled together, and resources on setups and things like that. What feels good and what doesn't. Pace Performance Coatings, Quantum Magneto Supply, and Dakota Taco Shack. Weren't for them, we wouldn't be here.
All right. Well, the super late models next Wednesday night. We'll see if we can maybe put you back on the podium again.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, but you never say never.
Hey, it's like I said earlier tonight, every squirrel finds a nut, though.
Sometimes even the nuts finds the squirrels.
Exactly. Well, nice run tonight in that runner-up spot, and we'll look for you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, sir.
Let's see if we can catch now with Scotty Young heading over to talk to third place Tyler Johnson.
Tyler worked her way up to a third place finish tonight and also atop of the leaderboard in the point standings now. What does that mean now with another podium finish going into next week with the super late models at Lernerville?
Well, I'm just hoping I can keep the strong runs going, back-to-back podiums, coming from the back, starting really deep in the field tonight and coming all the way up to third to minimize the point damage lost to Tanner. He ran a really good race. I'm glad I could finish third, and then next week we're going to super late models. I like late models, but supers, they bother me, but we'll see how those go.
Had a late model win last season, if I remember correctly. With the track here tonight breaking down from the heat races into those constellation features and then back into the A feature, how difficult was it just to navigate through the field to get you up to third tonight?
Well, yeah, I mean, I qualified first, and then heat race, I didn't advance straight to the show, so I'd go through the B, and the B main, the track was really used up, and I was just kind of holding my own and hoping to make the A main, and I did. And we reset the track for the A feature, and it was really good early on. And I just kind of avoided wrecks, tried to be aggressive when I needed to be, get my way up to the front. And then when I finally got to the front, it was like, holy cow, I'm here. And then I was kind of stuck behind Bruce, and then I couldn't get around him. And then Kevin was coming from behind. And I was hoping I would get a podium and that Kevin wouldn't get around me, and he didn't. And yeah, it was a really fun race.
So now does this give you more of an advantage atop leaderboard now going into weeks to come then?
Yeah, I think it should. I mean, heat race, Tanner definitely, he gained some points on me, but I think I out-qualified him and then I minimized the damage here in the A main. So hopefully I can extend the point lead and keep it going into further weeks.
So what's the expectation then for next week with the Supers at Lernerville?
Oh boy, I don't know. I'll probably find out later tonight after we practice, and it'll probably be pretty low expectations, but hopefully we can figure something out to be faster.
Well, congratulations on the topping the leaderboard in the point standings right now, and third place finish tonight here at Lanier.
Thank you.
So there you have it. Tyler Johnson will finish in the third spot. Bruce Jones, runner up here tonight, and Tanner Koster becomes our fifth different feature winner in 5 events so far this season with the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros. What a night, guys.
Yes, it wasn't too shabby of a shindig here from Lernerville. Some great racing, saw some great wrecks. 2 guys got some free prizes from my race pass and myself. So, hey, if you didn't get a free T-shirt, shameless plug coming. Just go to my race pass, go to the marketplace, go down to I don't think it's drivers and stuff. There's a lot of drivers, a lot of race car drivers that sprint cars to hobby stocks to go-karts and got shirts and apparel you can buy on my race pass. Maybe you don't want a T-shirt, maybe you want a J-Van hoodie, you can get it. Maybe you want a J-Van long sleeve T-shirt, just go to the J-Van marketplace on my race pass and they'll hook you up with a T-shirt. And I know Hayden was pretty happy when he got his birthday present T-shirt.
Let me tell you, these J-Van shirts, they make great birthday and they'll make great Christmas presents. I know firsthand. And you know what? They're even a little slimming. I've got my gray color J-Van sports shirt on tonight, looking like a model over here.
Yeah, all I know is Mother Nitro looked good in her J-Van nightgown.
The J-Van.
Well, they bought it a couple sizes too big so she could wear that thing bad. I was excited.
Do you have any tarp awning sizes for a big guy like me?
I think I don't know what size you need, but all you gotta do is just go out there, scroll on down, and it'll tell you what size you can get there, Scotty. I think they got one for you.
Just as long as it doesn't come with sleeves, we'll be fine.
You can remove those later. They come in all different sizes. Great. Love the My Race Pass marketplace. Thank you guys for doing the shirts and the giveaways here tonight. Pretty awesome stuff. Awesome racing on the track as well. We're just about set to close this one down and then look forward to next Wednesday night with another Advantage Racing TV production coming up our way. Who knows what to expect with those super late models? No, none of those drivers on the podium sounded even the slightest bit confident about next week's race.
No, they didn't. But that's what we heard, when it was going to Knoxville. Oh, I don't feel good there. And then all of a sudden it's like, really? You ran second.
Yep.
Was quite the theme last season as well with the upcoming week too. So yeah, we'll just have to see if we can have a repeat winner next week with super late models at Lernerville, or will we have our 6th different winner here for the SODAK iRacing Series presented by Asphalt Pros.
So right now over in the drivers chat area, they're all yelling at each other about this race, and then they're going to yell at Troy, who runs the race, and they're all going to be mad. And then in 5 minutes from now, someone's going to say, I'm going to put up a late model race at Lernerville, and they're all going to say, all right, see you there. And then they're all going to go start working and getting ready for next week.
So it sounds like just every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday outdoors in the summer.
You got it.
Absolutely. And these guys, I mean, just that just shows how hard these guys are working during the week building up to Wednesday nights here for the SODAK series.
All right, let's wrap it up, gentlemen. Again, a big thanks to Advantage Racing TV for the production here tonight. We rolled through some early technical difficulties. Thanks, everyone who tuned in and rolled through those punches with us. And always a pleasure to work with you guys. I think I'll shut up now. I'll let you guys close this thing out. I've got a cold beer to get to. That's really what I'm saying.
Oh, you're finally going to have one?
Yeah, going to start.
Scotty, you need to head out to the grill and check and see how your meat's coming along.
Yeah, we're going to be headed down there in just a couple minutes, see how that chicken and pork shoulder coming along. So once again, always great to work with you, Sean and Jerry. Definitely a fun time here on Wednesday nights.
It's always a pleasure. So on behalf of all of our great sponsors, we hope you can make it back next Wednesday night for another Asphalt Pros as we go super late models, full fenders and fat tires from Lernerville next Wednesday night right here on Advantage Racing TV. So from all the staff, the production crew behind the scenes, and us on the booth, it's been our pleasure having each and every one of us with us. So until next Wednesday night, have a safe trip home. Be good. God bless. And good night, everybody.